Have you ever felt like your dream was slipping through your fingers? Like you gave it your all, but the world just wasn't listening? This is the story of a young man who felt exactly that. A man whose dream died only to find a new life after he was gone. The rain had just begun to fall that evening. Soft, quiet drops tapped against the window of a small hospital room where a young man named Elias Carter lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. He was only 28, but the machines around him told a story of a body that had given up long before his heart wanted to. Elias had been a dreamer, writer, a traveler, someone who believed time was infinite, but life, as it often does, had different plans. Just 3 years ago, Elias was unstoppable. Living in New York City, he was chasing his dream of becoming a published author. He worked at a cafe during the day and poured his soul into his stories at night, often writing until the first light of dawn. His words were filled with hope, love, and adventure, everything he wanted his life to be. He would tell his mother over the phone, "Mom, one day I'll make you proud. You'll see my name on a book cover." And she would always reply with unwavering love, "I'm already proud, my son. You just keep believing." But the city can be a harsh critic. The rejections from publishers piled up, one after another. The rent became a constant worry. He watched his friends move on with their lives, getting married, buying houses, while he felt stuck. Slowly, the brilliant fire that once lit his soul began to flicker out. He started skipping meals to save money. Then, he stopped writing altogether. The silence in his tiny apartment became deafening, until one morning he collapsed, and he never truly recovered. Now, the sterile hospital room was his entire world. The days and nights blurred into a monotonous cycle, punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping of monitors and the distant footsteps of nurses. Outside his window, life went on. People were living, laughing, running while Elias lay still, haunted by the question, what could have been? He was diagnosed with a rare silent heart condition that had been growing for years, completely unnoticed. There was a surgery, a chance, but it was impossibly expensive, far beyond his reach. When his mother came to visit from her quiet home in the countryside, she wore a brave smile, but he could see the tears she fought to hide behind her eyes. He held her hand, his own feeling frail, and whispered, "Mom, I'm sorry I failed." She shook her head, her touch gentle but firm. "You didn't fail, Eli," she said softly. "You just forgot how strong you are that night. Sleep wouldn't come." Elias's mind raced, replaying his life, his choices, his unfinished stories. Hundreds of pages sat on his laptop, silent witnesses to a dream he had abandoned. He remembered his younger self, the passionate boy who used to scribble ideas on napkins, the one who truly believed that words had the power to change the world. A sudden urge moved him. With trembling hands, he reached for the simple notebook and pen beside his bed. He began to write a letter. This time, it wasn't for a publisher. It wasn't for fame or for the world. It was for the future, for anyone who might find it after he was gone. "Dear Dreamer," he wrote. "If you're reading this, maybe you've been where I am, tired, lost, or broken. I know how it feels to give everything you have and still fall short. But please, don't stop. Sometimes, the dream doesn't die, it just waits for you to come back. And even if you fall, even if no one believes in you, promise me one thing, you'll get up again." He paused, taking a long, deep breath. A faint smile touched his lips. For the first time in months, a wave of peace washed over him. He had found his words again. Elias passed away 2 weeks later. The hospital staff found his letter on the bedside table. One of the nurses, a young woman named Clara, read it, and she wept. Years ago, Clara had been a singer with a beautiful voice, but fear and failure had silenced her. After reading Elias's words, something inside her reignited. She decided to try again. She shared the letter online with a simple note from someone who reminded me to keep going. Within days, the letter went viral. It was like a wildfire of hope. People from all corners of the globe read Elias's final words. Students struggling with exams, artists who had put down their brushes, workers feeling invisible in their jobs, parents trying their best. Everyone who had once felt like giving up found a piece of their own story in his. Messages poured in. "This letter saved me. I started painting again because of this. I finally told my dad. I love him after years of silence." Elias never became a famous author in his lifetime. He never saw his name on a book cover, but his words, simple, honest, and born from pain, inspired thousands. A year later, a small independent publishing house released a book. It was titled The Last Letter. It wasn't a novel, but a collection of Elias's writings, his scattered poems, and the final powerful note he left behind. At the book launch, his mother stood before a crowd, tears streaming down her face, holding a copy in her hands. A reporter asked her, "What do you feel, knowing your son's words are now changing lives all over the world?" She smiled through her tears, a look of profound love and pride on her face. "My son thought he failed," she said, her voice soft but clear. But he became exactly what he always wanted to be, a writer who touched the world. Sometimes life doesn't give us the exact dream we chase. Sometimes it gives us something far greater, a chance to move others, to remind them they're not alone in their struggle. Elias's story teaches us a truth we so often forget. Even our broken dreams can still shine a light for others. So if you're out there and you're struggling, if you feel like giving up on your art, your goals, or even just yourself, remember Elias. Remember that there's someone out there waiting for your story, your song, your smile, your unique contribution to this world. Don't let them wait forever. Keep going, because even when you think no one is watching, even when you feel invisible, the universe is whispering back, you still matter. Your story isn't over yet.